What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out the brand new Lunalight support coming out in the Duelist Pack 21. I am so excited that we are getting double L support. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. As unmanly as this sounds, I actually almost cried when I read this support. I was just that excited. We don't have a Link Monster yet, although I will talk about that because I actually believe more now than ever that a double L Link Monster is actually coming. This will be released in January in the TCG and the Legendary Duelist Sisters of the Road, so you know I'm picking up all of this stuff. I actually just a month ago bought an ultimate rare Leo Dancer from the Japanese Shining Victories. I didn't even know she came in ultimate rare, but once I found out, I had to get a copy. So let's go ahead and break down the new 5 cards. We'll start with the boss monster. This is Lunalight Sabre Dancer. It's a level 9 Dark Beast Warrior monster, 3000 attack, 2600 defense. Her materials are 3 Lunalight monsters, so she's fairly easy to summon. She must be fusion summoned, and her third effect is a hard once per turn. First effect says gains 200 attack for each beast warrior that is currently banished or in your graveyard. Alright, that's not bad. I mean, basically you expected some level of a beat stick because all of the double L fusion monsters are beat sticks. She should come out at minimum of 3600 attack, but I think that she should be able to hit, I don't know, maybe 4000 attack pretty consistently. Her second effect says that she cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. That's built into Leo Dancer as well. Leo Dancer has more protection because Leo Dancer can't be destroyed by card effects. She's a full-on Magic Spectre. I would have liked to see that level of protection as well, but I'll take this because against decks like Altergeist, that can be pretty good. Her third effect says, during your main phase, except the turn that this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one fusion monster you control. It gains 3000 attack until the end of the turn. To me, this effect has a crazy upside, but it actually is more of a fail-safe effect. What I think Konami wants here is for you to summon your Sabre Dancer first and try to kill your opponent with her, and then if it doesn't go well and she ends up being killed, then in the following turns you can use her with Panther Dancer or Leo Dancer, because all the double L fusion monsters except this new card, they can all attack multiple times. So you should be able to close out the game when you use that effect. Overall, this card is actually, like, she's a one-of because she doesn't really bring anything brand new to the table that double Ls don't already have. I think that her effect of giving your double Ls 3000 attack does make it significantly easier to close out games when your first attempt to game your opponent doesn't work, and that's kind of nice, but you won't need to run more than one copy of this card in my opinion. Next up, we have an effect monster. This is Lunalight Emerald Bird. It's a level 4 Dark Beast Warrior monster, 1200 attack, 1000 defense. First and second effects are both hard once per turn, but you can use them both in the same turn. Effect number 1, if this card is normal / special summon, you can send one Lunalight card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, draw one card. Effect number 2, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one of your level 4 or lower double L monsters that you have currently banished or in your graveyard, except another copy of Emerald Bird. Special summon it in defense position, but its effects are negated. All right, this is a really good card, and honestly, I feel like this is the type of card that's going to power creep a lot of the old Lunalight cards out of the deck, because this is a proactive card. You can summon her, you can instantly try to, unclog your hand, getting rid of the double Ls that you don't need. Also, you can use this in conjunction with something like Kaleido Chick, and you will activate the effect. Another thing is, this card is not actually a cost to send to the graveyard, so if your opponent wants to Ash Blossom you, that's fine. You're not going to lose any cards in your hand. And then the fact that this card floats if you're going to use it for another copy of itself, or if you're going to use it for a fusion summon. You can get one of your double Ls that's banished or one of your double Ls in the graveyard. The fact that they're now letting us get our double Ls back from the banished zone is incredibly important because it just makes Allure of Darkness even better, and we already had Lunalight Wolf, which was already excellent in the deck. I honestly love this card, and I feel like because of cards like this, Blue Cat is probably going to be moving down to like 1 in the deck. Then we have the next effect monster. This card is like literally the whole effing show. I think that this card is amazing. This is Lunalight Yellow Marten. It's a level 4 Dark Beast Warrior monster, 800 attack and 2000 defense. Low attack, but stats really don't matter on the main deck Lunalight monsters all that much. The first and second effects, just like the last card, are both hard once per turn, but you can use them both in the same turn. Effect number 1, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon you can target one Lunalight card you control except Yellow Marten. Return that card to your hand, and if you do, special summon this card in defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. Effect number 2, if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add one Lunalight spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Very, very important that people know this. You cannot add Perfume to your deck or from your deck to your hand with this, because Perfume has that weird space in the middle middle of it that makes it not technically like a Lunalight card. Before, it was never really relevant, but now it technically is, which kind of sucks. Overall, this card is absolutely ridiculous, though. Even though you can't search out that, it's fine. We have a couple of new amazing spells and traps to talk about, which you can actually search. And the most important thing about this card that makes it insane is the fact that it works so well with the pendulum scales. If you don't know, Lunalights have a couple of pendulum scales, and the pendulum effects of those scales are not hard once per turn. Especially this is important when it comes to Lunalight Tiger, who has a built-in Monster Reborn in her pendulum effect. So you can basically just like fusion summon with this card. You can activate your yellow Marten's effect. You can get yourself like Lunalight Fusion, a card I'll talk about momentarily, and then you can summon her back from the graveyard a la Zephyros the Elite by bouncing your Lunalight Tiger after you've used this Monster Reborn. Not only do you get a monster on field +1, but then you can activate Tiger again and get that other Monster Reborn +2. This card is going to be absolutely bananas. To me, my instinct is kind of telling me this is a 3 of, and that probably this card should almost never be dead, because not only can you summon it from the graveyard, but you don't have to use your normal summon on this either. You can special summon it from the hand. I think that it makes the pendulum scales so much better, and man, this card is just amazing for the consistency of double L's. Next up, we have a trap card, and I'm not gonna lie, I've had to read this card about 5 or 6 times to really understand how good it was, because one of the effects I don't think will ever be used, and then the other effect I feel like will be used every single time you use the card. This is Lunalight Serenade dance. I love the artwork on it, by the way, because it has Blue Cat, and then it has like Cat Dancer in the background. And I was I was anxious when I read this card, or really when I saw that it was a trap, because Reincarnation Dance was never successful, and it's slow and it's bad and nobody uses it. And I kind of thought this was going to be Reincarnation Dance Part 2. It's a continuous effect. Second effect is a hard once per turn. When a fusion monster is fusion summoned to your field, you can target one of those monsters, apply the following effect: special summon one Lunalight token, Dark Beast Warrior monster, level 4, 2000 attack, 2000 defense, to your opponent's field. That target gains 500 attack for each monster your opponent controls. So basically, you force a token on your opponent's side of the field, and you make your double L fusion stronger. Honestly, you're never going to activate that effect. I don't think this card is going to hit the field, because I think effect number 2 is what you're going to be using. The second effect says during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, send one card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Lunalight monster from your deck. The absolute most important thing to note here is the fact is this card banishing itself is the cost. Discarding from your hand is not the cost. This means if your opponent Ash Blossoms you, you still get to keep the card in your hand, and since discarding from the hand to the graveyard is not the cost, it means that those cards that we just talked about, the 2 effect monsters, both of them will absolutely activate if you send them to the graveyard to special summon a Lunalight from your deck. So imagine that you have this card in your graveyard, you actually activate the effect, and you're getting a Lunalight from your deck, and then at the same time you're being able to activate those guys' effects. This also is another good card to actually pitch from your hand with something like Emerald Bird, because then you have it in the graveyard where you can use it again, and you can actually draw a card off Emerald Bird. Being able to special summon a double L from your deck like anyone is crazy, because you can summon Blue Cat. Blue Cat will double the original attack of any of the fusion monsters, which makes it incredibly easy to OTK your opponent with something like Leo Dancer. So that makes that way more consistent, because you don't even have to draw your Blue Cat now. Now you can just run like one copy. Overall, this is a card that I think is really good. It works well with Foolish Burial Goods, which honestly, I was not a big fan of Foolish Burial Goods in the past, because I felt like it was a very linear play that only worked with Perfume, but now we have a second target for Foolish Burial Goods, and now it makes a lot more sense. Also, if you have Perfume in the graveyard, you can use this in conjunction with Perfume, because you can send your Serenade dance to the graveyard, you can summon, or you can actually search off of Perfume, and then you can have your Serenade dance in the graveyard for, further use of that card. I think that this card is really good, and it's a trap that actually speeds up the deck, as ironic as that was. When I first read this card about 5 times, I hated it, but then I really thought about it, and now I kind of love the card. Finally, we have the card that I have been waiting for years. I never understood why Fluffles and Melodious, other Arc V, anime decks had fusion spells and Lunalights didn't, but now we have Lunalight Fusion, and it's a pretty damn good card if I say so myself. It's a normal spell, it's a hard once per turn. It says fusion summon a Lunalight Fusion monster using monsters in your hand or that you control as fusion materials. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can use one L monster in your deck or extra deck as one of the fusion materials. Keep in mind, if you do use one of your monsters from the deck, you probably want to use one of the new cards that I just talked about, because all of their secondary effects will activate and they'll basically be able to float. But this also means going into something like Leo Dancer and Panther Dancer is going to be so much easier now, because you can use a Panther Dancer from your extra deck as a material. You can use a Cat Dancer from your extra deck as a material. That's obviously a nice option. Now, some people might kind of gripe and be like, Cap, why didn't they let you use all the materials? Look, let's be real here. Leo Dancer is like way too fucking OP of a card to allow you to be able to summon Leo Dancer for one card. I mean, there are a lot of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! That can't even fucking kill Leo Dancer, let alone letting you summon Leo Dancer for one card. I think this card is pretty damn amazing. The fact that it's searchable is going to help it a lot, and I kind of feel like now the proper ratio is probably going to be 1 polymerization to like 2 copies of Lunalight Fusion. You're not going to drop polymerization from the deck completely, because Black Sheep searches it and then Kaleido Chick can add it back to the hand, but you're definitely going to want to get this card like early and often, especially going second, which you always will do with Lunalights, because, you know, being able to get like a Leo Dancer on board easily when playing against a deck like Sky Strikers, what the fuck are they going to do against a card like that? Especially if you know, make if you special summon Blue Cat and give it like 6,000 or 7,000 attack, like it can be pretty damn OP in that case. But overall, I love this new support, and I actually feel more confident now that double L's are going to get a Link monster, because if you look at the pattern here, all of these archetypes, or at least a lot of these archetypes like Harpies and Trains, they're getting Link monsters as well. And they're all in this same legendary duelist, Sisters of the Rose. So I think that Konami is saying, hey, the Link monster for double L's is coming. But even if it isn't, this support is absolutely fantastic. And the fact that our boss monster is the worst card of them all is actually a very good sign, because we got a lot of good consistency cards here. So whatever you guys think, let me know in the comment section below. I am just thrilled. I'm going to get every single one of these cards, and I definitely will be playing Lunalights in the future. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos, and check out these other videos I know you'll enjoy.